Because good morning and welcome to Good Morning Anambra Show. It's Friday episode. Thank God it's Friday and thank God we're all alive and strong to see this beautiful day which the Lord has made. All right, my name is Nonya Ngokoye, welcoming you to the show this morning. As usual, let's start with the press review. You're welcome to the press review. On the press review, as you know, is audience participatory. We have some of our national dailies to look at and see stories making their headlines on today's papers. And of course, stories trending on ABS website. When the time comes for you to call and place, the numbers are on your screen. You keep the calls coming to make it as interactive as it should be. All right, in the studio, I have Professor Obiajilu Obikeze. Good morning and welcome to the
Good
studio,
morning.
sir.
Good morning.
All right, I also have Kingsley Ugu. Kingsley, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you, Indian Umbra. Good morning, everybody.
All right, we begin with looking at stories making their headlines on ABS website. Anambra State Government Development Partners, FG, to collaborate in tackling erosion challenges. Anambra Information Commissioner Nwosu debunks media reports accusing Soludo of taxing P2B's billboards. More inmates of custodial centers regain freedom as Anambra CJ continues jail delivery exercise. All right, Kingsley.
I think we've got interesting stories. Let's kickstart with Anambra State Government Development Partners, FG, to collaborate in tackling erosion challenge in the state. Yes, I think I'm interested in that story, because we've been challenged with erosion in the state for over a long time now. So for the state now to have develop, a partnership, with both within, that's federal government, and external hands, I think is a very good development, because we are going through difficult moment in our life, because what erosion is causing in Anambra State, cannot just be swept under the carpet. What are we talking about? We all know that it's an environmental disaster, it's an environmental challenge, but because, you and I know that it is surmountable if the willpower is there, it behoves that the right thing should be done. So we are now calling on the federal government and international partners to come and help Anambra State, in tackling this menace. Yes, in getting that sorted out, it is not just, Anambra State is not just to gain it alone, but even the wider society, federal government, the entire nation is going to benefit from that. And I can assure you that if we contend this, it is a good thing for our society.
All right, quickly, other stories there on the website, the debunking of media reports, and of course, I think we'll look at the two of them, even the regaining of freedom for inmates.
Let me start with the debunking of media reports. Okay. Events in Anambra State for some time now, events have kind of brought a lot of accusations, counter-accusations, and even innuendos on people and issues that should not be the case. And so I very much join the commissioner in helping to disseminate some of this information that is not proper, to just attribute something to somebody, something he has not done. And that's why we should avoid disagreements and problems in a state, because they create a lot of confusion and distrust. So I will enjoy the people in Anambra State to take some of these things easy, and when you hear certain things, you cross-check your information. Don't just on the spur of moment start carrying it out. That's what fake news and hate news, and they help to destroy a society. And so we must avoid such things. I don't think our state has degenerated to a level where we destroy a billboard of our own son. I think we should not encourage that. Okay. And the state government has said it has no interest in such a thing.
Okay,
and we
now,
should hear it from that perspective.
The state chief judge is going about pardoning some prisoners. And the question is, that's what's coming to my mind is, now they are being freed from the prisons. I hope something, has been done to help them, find their feet again in the society. I don't know.
When it comes to giving inmates, pardon, it has been there. It's not a new thing. So, in our own time, we should actually appreciate that window, because it has been created at least, to help those who found themselves in custody, probably rightly or wrongly. Okay. So, having said that, it is not incumbent in this, on the system, because anybody that went into anybody remanded, is suspected, to go through, a
some
reform
rehabilitation
in India, but that's why it is called reformatory, So, but in our own system,
is it really reformatory in the real sense of it?
Well, that's what it should be. There should be sections in the prison yard that will help you learn some skill, engage in certain things, even get educated. Some of them stay there and get degrees, diplomas, and what have you, and even school certificate. In that case, it will help to reform the person, discipline the person, and then gain some skill, which will help the person when the person regains freedom. Okay.
But then, ideally, that's what it should be. But practically, I think
Nigerians.
Yes,
that's what I'm asking, because when they now come out, maybe he has done something wrong, and he went there, he become worse or something, and now you're freeing the person back to society.
What the chief judge is doing, because I think it continues, he has to continue in some of the correctional centers. There are some of them that have overstayed.
Okay, they have lists.
Yes, some of them, because of our justice system, they've not gotten the necessary justice required after some time. Maybe they stole a goat, and then the punishment is for 2 years, and the person had awaiting for more than 3 years now. So even if you free the person, I think the person has suffered the punishment. So what he's trying to do is to decongest the prisons and also set people who should be free also, because if you keep them longer because of adjournment and frequent adjournment, it may not be in the interest of the society. But the issue of what to do for them, that's another way of thinking about it, which is not the job of the judiciary system. Okay. It is the job of the executive arm of government to also, in conjunction with in liaison with the legislature, the executive and judiciary, to map out policies of trying to correct or reform some of these people when they come out of prison. But we notice that some of them come out much more hardened than ever before.
That's exactly my question.
But it won't stop the chief judge from doing his duty.
Okay, let's move on. The new nationals, I think that will be a very big topic for another day, Let's move on now. The new national star. APC backs INEC on use of technology. We have riders there. Rejection of Beaver Syrev proves APC behind plots to sack INEC chairman CUPP. Ruling party G3 used to manipulating results. That's coming from the opposition PDP. Council beavers face the wrath of youths. Ohaneze youths warn. Nigerians eulogize oil magnate Prince Afeze at 74. Wow, 74. That's kudos to him. We pray for more life. And former AGF Idris returned $900,000 cash. Witness tells court. DSS withdraws suit against ex-terrorist negotiator Tukomamu. I'll negotiate with IPOB if elected president. Tinubu pledges. Okay. And so many other stories. All right, let's see. Prof, let me begin with you.
I think the issue of INEC and the APC, the election is very close, and a lot of issues are coming up. We thank God and thank humanity and thank INEC for accepting to use the technology that will improve the issue of conduct of election by use of VMA and whatever, that will help make the election free, fair, and credible, because that's the essence of it. At the end of the day, when the elections are conducted and you win, you know you have won. And when you lose, you bear it and know that one person must be the president or be the governor or be whatever position. And so that's the issue. So we are trying to say that INEC should be allowed to do its job, especially now that they've programmed ways and means of making the election, use technology and make election credible, in the sense that when you lose, you know you have lost. So that the issue of some other individuals and groups, especially political parties, trying to make it, force it on the INEC to do this on that, may not be in the interest of Nigerians, as it will help to cause a lot of problem if they do that.
All right, Kingsley?
Yeah, let me start, by congratulating our own Arthur Ezem. I think he's actually done much, to deserve, our commendation, because he has affected humanity in different areas, So we say congratulations to our dear business mogul. And having said that, we wish him more years, so that he could impact more on humanity. Then, having said that, I think DSS withdraws a suit against the ex-terrorist negotiator, Tukomamu. That's interesting, because it actually goes, to challenge how we run things in our system. Because if you had been following, a sequence of events, Tucker, was actually required by the DSS, for about 60 days or thereabout, which DSS demanded that they wanted to keep him, to interrogate him, on issues regarding the kidnap of, the hijack of citizens, in our train system, So I think that Kaduna train incident actually put Tucker Mama on a very serious light, So, and at the time, it was incumbent that they needed to investigate, how, he has been working with both the government and then they negotiate the terrorists. So at this point, they should have gone to court, or rather they've been in court, but then because of what the request of DSS, it is expected that that case will not come up. But at this point in time, the case came up, and then all of a sudden, DSS lawyer said they're not continuing with the case, so that, his client says he's not continuing with it. So it now raises a lot of questions. Why that sudden drop of interest in the case? And what actually did they see in Tucker that now doesn't constitute issue for interrogation? So I think we must, whoever wants to go to Equity must go with a clear
lot
hands.
of questions
So
there to be answered by those by those that has the interest. Okay, let's move on now. The Daily Sun newspaper is next in our lineup. Khan State stands on 2023 elections, says it has neither campaigned nor endorsed any candidate. Ex-SGF Babachir Lawal's group endorses Peter Obi. I'll address agitations in Southeast. That's coming from Tinubu. Pledges to review Nigeria's reward system. Now, G5 governors will continue to push for equity, justice in PDP. That's coming from Ibazu. FG reintroduces history in basic schools, begins training of 3,700 teachers in subjects. Christian Council lots Governor Guanyi on peace, good governance, quality leadership. I'll set aside $10 billion for youth employment, women if elected. That's coming from Atiku. Appeal Court declares biennial Binani APC governorship candidate in Adamawa. Court disqualifies Rivers APC Guber candidate. Senate committee declares Omana, dismisses a 480 billion naira fraud allegation. NSA gives reasons for proliferation of illicit arms. I wonder why it is now that history is being reintroduced into the nation's curriculum. Okay, Prof.
I don't know whether to start with the issue of history, but there's one of the things that I should just mention.
Okay.
The statement by Tinubu, who is campaigning for president.
He has made it was in the other paper and it's here again.
Okay, yeah, sure. And he said he will address agitations in the Southeast. I wonder why he should wait until he becomes the president. Because his party is in charge now. One should have thought that he would have advised.
Has been in charge?
Yes, for 7 years now. And one would have thought that they would have, as a party, agreed to discuss some of these issues. The president said it was not, he wasn't going to discuss about that the court should take its course. Unfortunately, the court has spoken, and yet nothing is done. So what I'm trying to say is that some of these campaign promises, they make our leaders not to be trusted. So one would expect that such things should be discussed. There's nothing like dialogue. And if you don't dialogue, you are now craving for violence. And no society achieves anything with violence and in an atmosphere of violence. So what I'm trying to say is that the issue of discussion, negotiation, dialogue, they are all overdue. And we should go back to that. Then on the issue of history, when we were in school, we did history. All of a sudden, it was dropped. It was dropped maybe because of the civil war we fought. Some of the policymakers felt that if history is taught in school, it will expose some of our young ones to the issue of bitterness against the country and what have you. But we all forgot, or some of those policymakers forgot, that history is not just talking about the past. Thank you very much. If you don't know your past, you won't know your present, and then to move ahead will be difficult. And that is definitely what is happening in Nigeria. We have seen that we are stuck. History is not the problem. The problem is in us, in lack of patriotism in Nigeria, in issue of irresponsibility of some of our people, and then not being one Nigeria. We have lacked the issue of harmony, stability and integration of the country, which history would have helped to tell us who made such mistakes, where and when, and how it will help to make us progress. So I think well, it's better late than never.
Okay.
Now that they are coming back to history, I think it's a good thing.
All right, Kingsley?
Yeah, I think the Prof has said it all, and we'll leave it at that, you know.
Okay, can we look at the Khan State stance on 2023? Okay.
This stance on 2023 elections says it has neither campaigned nor endorsed any candidate. Yes, I want to say that statement coming from CAN, is very apt, because CAN is a religious body, that ought to be neutral. So for them now to, be proactive in endorsing Mr. A over Mr. B, I don't think it is not that it's not, you can't write it off completely, that it's not a proper thing, but they should do it, moderate things so that we don't heat up the system, because even if, yes, I agree that they have every right to express their views. It's a fundamental right. And the APC Muslim ticket has actually generated issues, that people will comment on. So for CAN now to come out to make their position known, that for now they have not endorsed anybody, is timely, so that we don't heat up the system, unnecessarily. Okay. But that is not to say that they cannot aid their opinion. They cannot take a stand, on a particular issue.
Every individual has someone at heart. Every individual. There are no exceptions. Yes.
Like it or not. Sure. And so any other pressure group has the right to stand on a particular thing. Sure. But what I think they are doing is to, as he has said, the issue of overheating the polity for now. That's why they want to just be a kind of neutral. But under normal circumstances, pressure groups are intended to achieve the interest of their members. And so for them now to say that they are neutral, well, we wait and see what happens.
Okay. Daily Independent newspaper is next in our lineup. Let's see stories making their headlines there. APC recants, backs Beavers, transmission of poll results. We have riders there. PDP blasts ruling party over Beavers, IRF portal rejection. Okay, Obasanjo asks youth not to allow those messing them up to succeed. 401 fatal cases of gender-based violence recorded in 2022. Tallinn louds appeal court's decision on Binani as Adamawa APC Guber candidate. Okay, we know that from today it's been 16 days activism for gender-based violence to be, we say no to gender-based violence. It will last till, I think, December 8th or thereabout. Okay, court disqualifies Rivers APC Guber candidate Tony Cole. Buhari rewards loyalty, doesn't use and dump aids, Gambari. Amendment of NDLEA Act will further strengthen drug war, coming from Marwa. Lagos records lowest robbery incidents in decades. Poor productive activities drag Nigeria's GDP down to 2.25%. FG reintroduces history in basic education. Okay, we've seen that before. Okay. Please let me start from you this time around. Which story are you looking at?
The banner headline there says APC recants, backs Beavers, I think that should be a very interesting story, even though we've touched somehow. So if we tell ourselves, if we are honest with what we are doing in this country, you will know that we've gotten beyond the level of discussing use of technology in our electoral system. Rather we should put that into practice and perfect the system, so that we may advance, at the expected. If I say speed, I think I'm not out of order. So we expect to get to the next level. And the idea of over-dragging issues, I think it is not doing us any good. I don't know why APC actually did not want to go along with INEC in the use of Beavers, But be that as it may, I think some people actually raise concerns, that... Yes, of course, that's a last minute decision.
Well,
in the first place, what did they find wrong at the initial time that made them, that scared them from that use, from the use of beavers?
We take it
Didn't you? So, I hope you heard what PDP said, that they are used to rigging elections.
So, my dear, it is time actually we told ourselves the truth, be honest with what we are doing, and then be partners in moving Nigeria forward.
All right, Prof.
Yeah, I have interest in this issue of gender-based violence. These days, in the past, we used to take it that it's only the female gender that is being violated. Unfortunately, these days, it's both ways. Yes, a man could be violated, the woman could be. But the question is, what are the reasons for some of these issues? A situation where you live in acrimony, in hatred, in bullying, in nagging, and making the home and society very uncomfortable and unlivable, according to our governor. What are some of these things? Is it as a result of poverty, or is it as a result of intolerance, or is it because of ignorance or immaturity of the partners? So these are some of the questions people continue to ask from time to time. And if we're able to ask this question, interrogate some of these things and get reasonable answers, they will help to reduce some of this issue of gender violence. Yeah, because it's not doing the society any good. If you transfer it from parents to their children, and then the children will grow up in that kind of nasty. Thank you. You now continue to recycle the issue. And at a time, instead of just bullying in the home, they start also having guns. So in most cases, we should think about what we do in our families so that it will not affect generations unborn. So I'm trying to also be part. I want to say that this issue of the advocacy should be encouraged.
All right, the Nation newspaper is next. Nation newspaper. Can to Nigerians vote your conscience. Court sustains injunction stopping Nigeria air takeoff. African teams in Sloppy World Cup start. Adeleke Al-Sak PAMSEX inaugurated by Oyetola. And NNPCL marketers differ over lingering petrol scarcity, with rider there accused lengthen in Lagos, Abuja, others. PDP G5 governors won't bow to intimidation. Atiku Ayu absent at Abia rally. And we also have appeal court reinstates Binani Iwacha as Adamawa Taraba candidates. Okay, Tinubu, I'll review policies hindering commerce in Southeast. I think he said that yesterday at the campaign rally in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State capital. All right, Prof?
Yeah, the one that I want to talk on is the issue of Adeleke with SAC PAMSEX. Permanent secretaryship is a kind of career, something in the civil service. And it's assumed that somebody that had attained that position should have deserved and merited it. And for a governor to take over and then threaten or embark on sacking them, I don't think we are doing the civil service good thing. Because it's assumed that at that level, the person had attained kind of height that will help that person as permanent secretary to be loyal, to be committed, to have the knowledge and the facts and data about the ministries where they occupy. So for a governor to take over and then sack them, unless they are now suspecting those permanent secretaries
and
of...
could it be that he's having problem with the former governor, which made him, because he said that they are those inaugurated by Oyetola?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Unless he has some problems with the PAMSEX, or found them guilty of maybe averting...
one misconduct or the
exactly, trying to make him not to be governor. If that is the case, but I'm still saying that that's why in public service we should not be partisan. We should be neutral. We should be objective. So that any governor or any government that comes into power, you must have to start without fear or favor, but with the same objectivity and concern. Now, the governor will now sack them, employ his own group. Does it mean that another governor coming in will sack and employ his own people? So it is not in the interest of the state. And if I were the governor, I would, whatever happened, we should be able to bury the hatchet and then take it that this is a career something. Okay. And once you destroy it, it will affect the state for a very long time.
All right.
But then taking a cue from there, you know, I think it raises suspicion why somebody who is leaving the office in less than 3 weeks will start giving appointments. What happened all the while? Why hadn't he or she given such appointments earlier on? So it's political.
No,
and
it could be political, but then the way government should be is you have to continue to work until the day of you drop the ball. So if it's part of his job to appoint new permanent secretaries, even on the day of his leaving office, before the closing hour of his tenure, he has the right to do that. But assuming the only point you have is if these people had been found wanting or been found to be disloyal to the government that is coming in, well, that could be, but I'm saying that it's not a good omen.
All right.
I think I will leave that. We'll leave that. We'll leave it at that, you know, because the two different opinions, they know exactly what
brought them to
contesting. You know? Yeah, exactly. But be that as it may, at the end of the day, we masses, you know, will bear the brunt.
Sure.
So. I think the next edition will be NNPCL, marketers differ over lingering petrol scarcity. So I think I am attracted to this story, you know, because in recent time, you know, the issue of fuel scarcity, you know, has resurfaced in many states, you know, especially in Lagos State, you know, where it is biting very hard now, you know. If we are not within the area, you know, that it is hitting hard, you might not, you know how it feels to be. But as far as we are all Nigerians, even if we are not there, the fear is that in no distant time it will get down to you.
Do we even have a fare here? So when they sell at 250,
some filling stations don't even sell this.
Okay, so it's not even in Abuja or Lagos. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
The only thing is that Abuja and Lagos will insist they will buy at
these days. We can actually count the vehicles on
the road. That is the issue.
So the question is, where are we going from here? What's the way forward? You know, because Nigerians are actually getting it rough as it is. You can't enjoy what you have. Fuel is not there, and all the oil derivatives.
It's a click now. It has chain reaction.
So it has serious chain reaction, you know, because I don't know what, you know, the common and the average Nigerian will look up to right now at this moment and heave a sigh of relief, you know, that at least I'm comfortable with this. Let this be my consolation. But be that as it may, I think we should appeal to the authorities, you know, to have, you know, a rethink about bringing out Nigeria out of this doldrum. And this is, we are in an election period. Please, let the umpires allow this election to be a turning point where Nigerians will speak their mind through their ballot. So if we allow that, I will equally advise we citizens, when we make our choice, let's not be guided, you know, by sentiments and, you know, parochial interests. You know, by the time we liberate our minds, then we will actually sift the grains and then make use of the opportunity that comes our way.
All right, let's move on now to the Guardian newspaper, the last but not the least paper for review this morning. The Guardian newspaper: decline in oil gas output hampers growth amid recession fears. We have right there, Nigeria in technical recession, say experts. And flood, prepare for high cost of food, increased hunger, farmers warn Nigerians. Senate committee clears Omana, dismisses 480 billion naira fraud allegation. Sanwo-Olu at ISSTF town hall meeting promises improved security. Kosel condemns alleged assassination attempt on Obi during rally. And you can see the pictures in front of that paper. It says, after the floods, picking pieces of ruined investments and livelihoods. PDP, CUPP, others slam Adamu over deployment of beavers. Okay, a lot of stories in front of the Guardian newspaper. Prof, can we begin from you?
Okay, the issue of flood and high cost of food. The flood that ravaged most parts of Nigeria, they said 21 states of Nigeria, is very pathetic. Some of us who passed along these riverine areas during that period, we saw a lot of things that were not palatable. We just pity human beings who lived within these areas. Some of them had to carry their things to main roads where they could get some succor. The flood had receded. Then what is the aftermath? The implication is that this year and next year we may face a food scarcity. And I don't know what the government is doing to cushion the implications, the effects. Already we are very bad bag of rice, about 50,000.
I wonder how bad it is.
So that is just that we are still using the one we cultivated some part of last year, and those of us in the upland. So the problem is that the government should do something and help the matter. The thing may last for a very long time, because even in some of these areas where we have our food, they are not doing much for now. And that will pose a lot of problems between now and next 2 years, not even next year. And already we have heard here that we are in technical recession again. Recession, I don't even know the difference between recession and what we have been suffering all these years. No food, no gas, transportation very high, school fees everything, we are just in quagmire. And so
you're not even at peace.
We are not even peace. Even security, that's even the worst.
That's what I'm saying.
Even the worst. That is the issue. Division everywhere, divisive tendencies, people, hatred, rancor, acrimony. So what we are trying to say is that some of these things, as he has pointed out, governments must come to the aid of the common man. Otherwise, in other places, when such things happen, even though the federal government is doing that, but you see a lot of things, gifts, and deliberate effort being made by the government to help the people. We thank them the much they've done, but then it is not good enough. We must have to continue to make sure that the people don't suffer unnecessarily.
All right, Kingsley.
Yes, I align with the Prof. And then moving on, Kosei condemns alleged assassination attempt on Peter Obi during rally. Yes, it is not just a particular group, that should condemn the development, because at this point in time, we should learn to play politics with maturity. Think politics without bitterness. Somebody advocated for this, and it's been long that we inculcate that into our system. It will help us a lot, because yes, I was watching a video clip, where a young man came to the rally with dagger tucked inside his suit. So I don't actually know, what the young man came there to do with.
And I don't know if you watched that video very well. Wait, because when they removed the dagger, he was still clutching on something.
Something else, yes.
Yes, I don't know if you watched it well.
Yeah, I think it challenges the efficiency of our security system, because if we who are not authorities in security operations, we could, figure out these abnormalities, then these security operatives should do more to tell Nigerians how they are actually, squaring up to this task of protecting our lives. What am I driving at? If you watch that clip, you find out somebody was even shielding the young man. So I can't understand who was that man shielding the man. And then one could hear from the background requesting to know who that man is and who he represents there.
Yes.
So I think this security system should do well to convince Nigerians that they are on top of the situation. Because the problem we have, is if ndi Igbo na-ekwu arolo momo chozo arolo mobuichi. So I think our national government should advocate and promote peace and cohesion. That would do us.
All right, that's just about it. Would like to thank you so much, Professor Obiajulu Obikeze. Thank you so much for your time this morning on Press Review.
Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers.
Well, thank you so much, Kingsley Ugu, for being here this morning.
Thank you. Dalon Ondibai.
All right, and that's just about it on the Press Review. We have more coming up on Good Morning Anambra Show. Do stay.